I'm a little late. I'm never sure where to begin. Hey, 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 hey. It's funny when you take a look through the camera, although this is about numerology, right? Numerology is extremely, I'm just going to point this outside, see if you can see the cat. Oh, that's upside down. Numerology, numerology. Can I put this up here? I should put this up here. Like that, or should I put it like that? See the way that falls over here? Things that are natural. Numerology, it's more than what people think it is because it's more than what I think it is. So maybe I'm not using the right term. Another thing I wanted to show is I had a use my Hebrew Bible, right? Because this guy just mentioned I use my Hebrew Bible and use all the work of history in order to numerate it and find out where it belongs. True, false, to the right, to the left, facing you, on the right side, on the left side. Is it up or is it down? You see, if I put my right hand up, what is it like above? Below. So that means below has to be here. I am the body in between. So this is what, for me, numerology is. In order to understand the words, you have to go through the learning the equations that bring you to understand how do I figure out what a letter is? How do I know what time it is? How can I possibly know what time it is if I don't know what a number is? Right? Traditions and cultures, you hear it from them all the time. So you coming up here and even hearing the way you're speaking. So I'm listening. I'm trying to get onto this little show, Wabusa, on TikTok, and you know what? I got on before I started to mention numbers, but they hear numbers, and it's such an intricate building. It's the building of understanding what a letter is, what the alphabet is. You have a 2x4. You have a nail, right? Which in French is a clou, and a clou is 333. And the fox that ran, right, the cunning fox that was looking for the Q, that was 666. Baseball has 9 innings, 4 balls, and 3 strikes. I cannot put it all in one hand, so I use 2 hands. When do I need to add in my feet? Is it what is above to what is below? The 10 doesn't have any interference in it, right? 10 with interference of the shoulders running across from each other. My feet don't run across to each other, they're next to each other. So the fabrics, can I say the fabrics? But the tools I use have already been in the creation where the heart ticks, and now we go tick tock, and now we go tic tac toe. Just give me a second. You heard everything. You heard everything. That is what I'm trying to say today. So how do you see a color? There's nobody here right now, and you know, I don't want to lose my trend of thought. I don't want to lose my trend of thought. You know, and I can't get on. But I'd like to take that show into my channel. That'd be great. You know, and then they're talking about on this show about they mentioned something to do with color, and the first thing that came up to my mind is show me a color. Well, I wrote down red. Now you look up red, or I'll tell you red. But the whole thing is the red was the book you read, READ. Is it a 3-letter red, or is it the four-letter red. Is your name Reed? I'm going to read, so it's R-E-A-D. So is it R-E-E-D, Reed? So something that I R-E-A-D. So I saw the color of red. Does that mean stop? Does that mean stop when the color red goes into your eye? Why does red stop you into your eye? What happens to your blue eyes or to your green eyes? What can red do to other colors? That's just one of my pieces of somehow art that came together. Is the Lord working with us? Is it a system that has been built into us, that we're built into the system that we breathe in, constantly adjusting? I like to call it the Urantia world. I like that word, the Urantia world. It's always stuck with me. The Urantia world. And they also have land, and the reason I'm using world and land is because of the word yen, yen, right here, this word over here, yen, yen. So we have this land and that world, right? We have Christ, we have Christian, we have Christianity. 45, 9, 24, 77, 101, and 54 equals 155. Did I get that correct? I know that CHRIST is 77, but so is power 77. 24, the cat is number 24. The TY equals to 45, or it is the T for 20 and the 25th for Y. The ITY, the IT system in the sun, the I is for number 9. So I'm trying to look up what mathematics that created beside 4 times 5, 4 plus 5 equals to 9 equals to 20. So we have to understand where numbers come from and where does 4 and 5 come from. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to 4 and 5. Well, we can go Adam is 1, 4, 1, 4. Eve is 5, 4, 5. So does that mean 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 will create what is Eve? Does Adam end up going into the two worlds of Eve? One Eve here and one Eve here, right? And Adam goes into both of them, right? The connection of the conscience goes into both worlds, right? You always need that. Whatever happens here goes back here. Your memory comes back here. And I'm not sure how we want to look at the Lord, the Spirit. Number 91, right? Where we have 13 by 7 equals to 91. Where we have 1 and 3 equals to 4 by 7 equals to 28 and 11. This one we're going to take 20 equals to 111. 7 times 13, 7 plus 13 equals to 111. 4 by 7, 28 equals to 39. And this is also to 71. 71 is going to be the sperm. I like to call it the zoid. And then I like to say Mercury. Okay, Mercury comes at the zoid. Somehow it connects me to lead. I don't know how it does, but it does. And this one over here is connect me to 17. 4 times 28 minus 11. It's also 3 times 7 equals to 21 and 10 equaling to 31. Okay, with a star, because anytime you have a 10, okay, you're either going to add another 6 or 12 to it. Why do we add 6 or 12? Well, this is what happens. 6 is in rotation of 9, so your birth is in rotation of your life coming, besides the 1 day of rest, right? The 1 extra day coming into both of you. You want to look at it that way. So I mix myself up when I go off the subject. So 0 also, or the 15th letter, equals to 6. 0 also is that 9 plus any number. Let's go 6 equals to 15 equals to 6. If it's with 7, it equals to 16. It'll equal back to 7, right? when we get to 17, we go 10 and 7, 18 is 10 and 8, and 19 is 10 and 9, which is also C3, B2, B2, and A1. The 9, when you multiply it, it's always going to return to 9, so it's always going to be new. So, yeah, if anybody here is coming to me for TikTok, it's now 13:31. It's the 91st minute after the hour. The 13th hour is 1. If you put it at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m., it's going to say, I am. The 13th hour says, I am, because you can't tell as a child the difference between what the number 1 looks like and what the letter I looks like. So it'll say, I am. Am being the male part of not the E, A-M-E, instead of the I-M-E, meaning the soul. The A and E, okay, the intelligence or the electronic, why I see the difference that way is because of these. These are telling me the story, the Mecca, the house of Mecca, the black walls that are on it, not disclosing the truth of what it is. The control, the full control, 2 Meccas and 1 Mecca. There's got to be at least 3. Okay. In fact, if you're 2 teams, me against you, it's my 2 dice against your 2 dice, or my 3 dice against your 3 dice. How about if I get 4 dice and you only get 3 dice, and your 3 equals to the 3 cycles of the 28th day of the moon, 3 by 28, 84, to where 4 dice, where you see 21 dots on every single dice, times 4 is 84. Also to know that it becomes 7 yards, if you want to look at it that way. And the reason for that is 7 feet. 7 times 12 equals to 84, and every 12 is going to be the first marking of your school ruler, right? Until you get into the school yard. And then when you get into the school yard, instead of the school ruler, you have the 12 inches, and then you have 3 of the rulers because you went into the school yard. And now the school yard is encompassed with 3 rulers, 12, 12, and 12, going around into that 36, your first 36 that ever was created. Now, the question is, if you're going around in circumference, we're going to have 3 points that we're going to measure around. But if it was a 3D object, right? If it was like a cube with 3 sides and then a floor, you'd have 1 point at the top, 3 on the side, so you'd be able to move that 4 times. You follow what I'm saying with all of this? I have to go a little bit slower. Am I all over the place? I always am. I don't have a format. If you start me into something, I can explain something, but for some reason, as the leaves grow in the tree, as the syrup grows up on the tree, the roots are going down into the ground to nourish what's going up and to nourish from above what it nourishes itself from below and above. The holy tree. 1 of me, 2 of you, and tree. We need tree. Without tree, how do we have unitary? Also, the letter U is the 21st letter. I believe that everything begins in a countdown from 21. The cube is 21. And the reason for that is we go from gold first over to last. And the reason I say we go from gold first, because we go 20 first. The word first, meaning I won, whatever it was, I was first, I get the gold if I'm an amateur. If I'm the professional, I no longer get the gold, but I get a trophy to take home. And the gold, maybe you want to refer that to the cash you put in your pocket, to where you don't put the monetary or the currency of the stream, that when you're in the Olympics, you become the amateur. The word am meaning soul. I don't know all the full terminology of all the letters yet. Sometimes I do it the moment it pops into my head. I get the story being told to me. You want to know where you believe, where I believe we are all in this, whatever conscience pool, this river, right? And whatever you think, if you can find an element to bounce it off, and maybe that might be one of the reasons for all creation, the dice cube, the Bible, people talking, because when we put words together that make sense, you're going to tell a story irregardless. We don't need to know the truth. We just need to know the story. We just need to hear the words. And if it's in the Bible, it can be a metaphor to something. It can also be a parable of something, We were taught in language how to look at words, how to look at letters, that we capitalize everything between words that's a single letter of the letter of I to the left of me and to the right. But when I'm sleeping, I turns into an H and I lie down this way. But when I take the cube out and I look for the H and the I got to use my brains. And who says I'm right without having any of the, let's go, spectators or participants, right? Because that's the way I like to look at everybody here, as the participants and the spectators. As a spectator, we learn, we take and we leave, we participate to say, if we see that's not possible, or you ask the question, how or why? And I answer the questions that can theoretically be answered and found somewhere in part of our creation. When they used 1/16 to 1/8 equaling their 16/16 to equal to what is my inch, to when they use eighths. When they use eighths, they're talking in a division of two parts, in 8 and 8, one in between one. So the question is, am I allowed to go to 16? Well, the thing is about 16, the French, they separate things at 16. And so does the cube separate at 16. What happens is 4 times 4, or 4 to the power of 2. Now we're going to do this. I'm going to show you how this works. We have 16. We have 4 to the power of 2. We can have 44. Or what if we had 2, 2, 2, 2, right? This is going to be 8. 2 times 2 is 4, by 2 is 8, by 2 is 16. So what happens over here is we're going to get 16 and 8 equaling to 24. 24 is the cat. 24, what happens with 24 is 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, equals to 8, equals to 6, equals to 14. Now, this over here, right, created this. When you look at these two dice, and now we're talking about number 7. If we're going to talk about 7, 1 and 4, or 7, 10 and 13, or 7, 28 and 22, or 7 and 37 and 31, or 7 and 46 and 40, or 7 and 55 and 49. 1 and 0 is 1, 2 and 8 is 10 is 1, 3 and 7 is 10, which is 1, 4 and 6 is 10, which is 1, 5 and 5, which is 10, which is 1. But this one and this one and this one go together. These two go together, and this one goes with this one. So does 64. The reason for this is it comes out in games. They're showing me in games that this one and this one are different colors in game. Every second one, 1, 10, 19, 28, 37, 46, 55, 64, 73, 82, and 91, the spirit through the moon in the creation of the gateway of Zion, Israel. We took the sky pass over here, ran the cycle of the moon from our alpha beginning, okay, into the beginning of J, the mirror worlds of Mars and Earth. 1 participates inside of 9. Either it's 1 complete area or it's 4 areas. After that, this area over here will be 9, telling me that 1 alpha or the spirit participates. But when you look at this and you look at this, there are 6 sides. There are going to be 6 of these. One of them, the total is 6, 1 across from 6 equaling to 7, 2 across from 5 equaling to 7, 3 across from 4 equaling to 7. If you want me to explain this, I'm going to go a little bit deeper in this. Not happy that I ruined my page. But what you have is 4 times 4 is 16. 4 plus 4 equals to 8. 8 and 16 equals to 24. 8, 8, and 8 equals to 24. You have 1/3, okay, and you have 2/3. When you add them together, you have a whole. This becomes the whole day broken up into 3 parts, or 3 by 120 degrees equals to 360 degrees, which is a whole day that's made up in parts. And the parts that's made up in is, it's not that. It's 3 times 120 equals 360. Then it's 3 times 120 equals 360. Then it's 3 times 120 equals 360. And then we flip it all over again, right? We should add it up here is 108. This is what makes everything perfect. Now we're going to go 3 times 120 equals to 360. And now we have the 1440 minutes in a day. But everything begins and happens only at the last second. And there are 60 of those. So now if there's 60 of those and there's 1440 minutes of this, there's got to be 86,400 seconds in a day. So now we have to multiply this 1440, okay, by what is it, 6 or 60 in order to get 86400. Since the day is split up into two parts, we split the day up into two parts, and now we end up with 432 hertz over 432 hertz. But in all actuality, there's another 432 hertz going on in between these two. You see, we have the 888, right? But if we want to overlap, right, we would have to put the other 432 balancing on each side of that tick-tock, if you want to look at it that way. So now this mathematics is going to create 8 and 6. Although it equals to 14, it also tells the cubic story. Yeah, I see you, Tammy. Hi. You see, we have 1 and 5 equals to 6. We have 2 and 4 equals to 6. We have 3 and 3 equals to 6. But if we have 5 and 3, right, equals to 8, we're going to go 5 and 3 equals to 8 because 4 and 2 equals to 6. And it's going to tell us 4 and 2 equals to 6. So if we have 3 and 3, whoop, this was, how did I write this? We have 3 and 3 equals to 6, right? So we have 3 and 3 equals to 6. So that means we must have 4 and 4 equal to 8. Abraham and Isaac. If you're talking about the seventh gate, okay, which I believe is inside of us, the communication by the cat, the seventh gate. Although the cat has the 9 lives, it lives at the seventh gate. There are no more than 7 that can be created on this cube. So now we're going to go to the third one. We're going to go to number 6, and then we're going to go to number 2, and we're going to put number 6 and 2 over here equals to 8. Okay, now if I do this, I got to turn this over and see a 5 and a 1. So I turn it over and boom, 5 and 1. The magic happened. It's already there. I didn't make the dice. I didn't make the calculator. I certainly didn't put these numbers out here. Or how about this word? What if I wrote the word 49? And let me write the word 3 times, right? Equals to 147. 147. 7 times 31, 4 times 30, and 1 times 28. And this is going to happen for a 3 cycle. This happens for a 3 cycle, okay? And as we just spoke, 1, 10, 19, 28, 37, okay? Work at a 4 cycle. This one starts everything over again. Therefore, 31 fits into position of 1. And this is what starts everything over, 38. Call it the golden monkey. Monkey is the 9th Chinese zodiac sign. Its value is 83, which is made up of 11, 11, 11. These cubes and the face of this calculator are one side of the house of Mecca. Show me 9 spaces. Within these 9 spaces, I can put a 4 block, and that would be what Mars would be. I could put a 4 block here. I'm going to do it again, right? I can put a 4 block here. I can put a 4 block here, and I can put a 4 block here. So I put these 4 blocks, and this is what it looks like. And if you want to see that, where that would be apparent, that would be apparent right here. I'd either have this 3 this way, right? Or I'd have it this way. But we can't look at it this way because we don't have any, what do you call it? And nothing is concrete. Well, it's this, it's that. No, it has to be this way. So when it's this way, right, you can see when it's this way, it's like that. right? It's like that. So when it's that way, well, if it was that way, you see the way it's going up? See, it's going up, and you see the way this one here is going down. So when it's going down, the 1 and 6 are going to be up or down. You see, I do it again. See, it goes the same way. If I want to go this way, right, that way, I'm going to see the number 2. And when you see the number 2, it also goes along with the 5. So this is going to show me 2, 5, and 1, 6. Their mathematical equations will equal to 10 and 7 equaling to 17, which will equal to 6 and 7 equaling to 13. So we can go into planets. We can say this is a gateway, the one spirit at the 7th gate, right over here. We can also call this part of the Mars system. The reason is 17 fits into Mars. 7, 8, and 9 are going to happen 9 times. We're going to get 63 and 72 and 81. When you do the 1 through 6 system, we don't say it the same way. When we're going to say this many ways, we are going to announce it with this number with it. 10, 7, 10, 8, 10, 9. This will happen 3 times in French. So when we have to do it 3 times, we will add on another 30. In 11 and in 12 and in 13, it's not the same as like in 14 or in 16. We're going to include 15 on this side of the board, where you change the word to fifth, you change it to third, you change it to 12 instead of 2, and it's 11, and there's nothing to do with 1. Ace 11 is your base creation. I'm going to explain this. 11 creates 12, and 11 will create one part of what is 13, but it will not create it all. The reason for this is we say 4, and then we add teen. And here we say 6, and we add teen. So on to 14 and 16, we're adding the number teen, 44 area space, dividing the night and day. Noted that the night would be 8 hours, right? You can say who said so, right? Or we can do other mathematical equations. This one works out equal. We can change it. And in this one, we have 16 hours for the 24 hours, the 1/3 for the night and the 2/3 for the day. So if I were to write the word night, I'm going to use 23, 38. I'm going to mark 58 only, right, for night. I'm going to mark 58. Don't know where I should do that. Let's do that over here. And if I'm going to do day, which is actually the 30, the value, I'm going to actually look at this as 60, right? Why? Because this part here tells me to do it 2 times. This part here tells me 1 time. This 1 time is telling me that it is male, becomes the night. And this one is going to tell me it's female, becomes the day. This one is both male and female, where the spirit or the soul is what consumes the spirit within it. One of the two, it's a communication network going by sound, internet, network, being 10, being reflective, network, also the net, like a spider web going through the hoop, right? Or the vortex. Also noted at its number here, we're going to go to 69. Here, we're going to go to 39 times 3, 39 times 3, 69. So we can see we have this in rotation of the sun. This is the 10 angel, the reflective side of ABC, this one over here. See, I'm not getting enough time. I was on this guy over here. See, I'm up there. I wanted to talk about numbers, but you can see how much time it occupies, you know. Just give me a second. I'm going to go to the kitchen. I just want to get a little bit of water. I thought I had some water around here. I'm going to come on back. I just wanted to see somebody. Somebody wrote something to me, messages. Oh, I think they changed my, yeah, they're just throwing me the same stuff. I don't know if they send me the stuff that they want me to follow them, but I can't follow back right now. I can't do everything at once. So give me a minute. I'm just going to get a drink in the kitchen. I'm going to come back and explain it. But if you don't understand something, don't hesitate. We're only 2 people right here. We might be 10. I'm only talking about 2 people. I'm not talking about AI or the analyst coming here and checking out the channel. Okay. You need to say something. You want to understand something. You ask me direct. I'm just going to tell you right now that my basic information that I get, where I get these equations from, okay, is right here. And what's left over of my poor little Rubik's Cube, right over here. The answers to understand the word of creation, or the words, or the letters, or the dots and the dashes, or the game of soccer divided up into 2 periods of 45 minutes where they have the extra time, or baseball, they have the extra innings, where they doesn't finish in a tie, where we have the 7th inning stretch. We have football in CFL. We have football in NFL. The NFL is we have the goalpost at the end of 100 yards on the field. It's still 10 yards for a first down. In one of the sports, it's 4 downs for the first down. In the CFL, it's 3 for the first down. To understand that every single yard is going to be 3 rulers of 12 inches. So you need to take a ruler in order to get it out into the school yard. School can be talked about fish if you want to talk about. Now they mentioned there's a Jesus fish has a relationship. Now, if you want to talk about April 1st being the 91st day of the year, or you want to talk about April 1st being the 92nd day of the year, we know we've connected to the A system and not the B system, right? Or the AB system, the father system. The reason for that is when you have a 1, when you have a 2, when you have a 3, when you have a 4, first, second, third, fourth, runner up. When you count down from 21 to 19, you have gone from the gold into the dark side, into time heaven. You have thrown yourself into time heaven. So when do we start our countdown from 20? Is it 20, 19, and 18? 21. Do we start at the 21? We go to 20 and then 19. And then after 19 is 18. And at 18, which is the second side of 360 degrees, it all begins. We start at 18. We begin in the sun, but we came through the moon. Number 19 is going to reflect the moon. Number 18 is going to reflect the sun, or it'll also be what is the sun birth. The word birth, B-E-A-R-T-H, is talking about the sun. They reflect it to B-I-R-T-H, to be talking about the moon. A-I, bringing 2 systems together. 18 is one system. It's right here. It shows it to you right over here where there are 9, and the center singular dot is right here, meaning there's 8 around. It is 1, the holder of all 10, 10s and 10s, of 1 and 9, 10, and 3 and 7, 10, and 4 and 6, 10, and 8 and 2, 10. The A and I, or 1 and 9, are the holder, or the divider, or the bringer together of this system. The 1 and the 9, if we refer to this as being the house of bait, the reason for that, you're seeing numbers, but I'm going to change those numbers to tell me number 2, Venus. And I'm either going to use these 2, or I'm going to use these 2 through this. And that's 2 with 7 areas void, and it will create an hourglass because you have these 2 diamonds pushing it in. That is an absolute truth. If you go to the game of roulette, you will see on the game, it'll say orphan children, because when we came into this world, on my theory or hypothesis or my educated thought over 20 years of studying this, is that on the 7th day, the day of rest, which is also in French meaning east, which is also reflected also meaning west, except in the word west, you have the O-U-E-S-T instead of just E-S-T, being without the O-U. As like in man, being without the W-O in woman is the same word west in French, spelled O-U-E-S-T, other than what it is in French, E-S-T. Now, when you go to the English language, it directly shows you that E-S-T is E-A-S-T. And then West finishes with W-E-S-T, meaning that W, number 23, or BC, letters coming together, the W, 2 worlds coming together, okay? So when you have all these words, we have to understand where separation comes in. We have to understand where separation comes in this. Is this what you call 3D? Because there's 3 opposite sides and it's square, right? But when you see a full square, I'm not square. I only have one head. The deck of cards shows me half a body, but it shows me two heads. Anyways, I'm not sure where I was going with that. So we were at football. So there's 3 downs, A, B, C, and then there's 4 downs, A, B, C, D. We reach Earth, 38, 11, 11, 11. If you want to say Allah comes out of this word, it certainly does. Abba also comes out of this word. I'm going to show it to you right now. Please remind me. I'm going for a little drink of water in the kitchen or whatever other substance I can shove into me. Black Java. I'm coming back. Hopefully I can remember to speak about 11. You want to talk about Adam and Eve, and all this work is relevant to what the numbers say, okay? What the existence of the numbers say, where the number comes from, and the equations I use in order to achieve the result so I can understand what it's trying to tell me. Although I'm not fully fluent, I'm not finished the work. It's only 20 years. Give me a lifetime. And a lifetime on planet Earth is 25 years. I know, before the sun was pirated, prison, pirating of our butts. Because of the French and English language assembly, and number 31 is also cube, and 31 is go to jail, directly to jail on Monopoly. The 31st property is go to jail. It's also the 11th property, going from go the other way, counting go that you stand on, or only 10 to the right or 10 to the left to visit the jail from go. It all depends where you are in Monopoly. In the system we live, there was the Bible at the beginning, and those who were to, God knew we came out here to be the children and have fun in this world and work together. We are the extension of that creation, that the Lord left it to the rest of us, because we aren't who we think we are. We're just an extension of the hands of the Lord. And if we don't come together in our unity, you're not bringing the Lord together in unity, because we are that. We are the extension. And then we live in the bubble that was created for the Lord to exist in the bodies of us. And it's all on the Lord's clock, however it was set up, whatever we do, whatever reason we need to be corrected in this world that we live, for whatever evil is going on, we signed our lives away by making choices and not knowing, because we weren't fully educated. And that's what happens when you play the game of life. And we knew what it was like before we came here, and that's easy to say now, because I couldn't say different, because I didn't know. I don't know now, but I could have known then, but that was my choice then, perhaps not to know now. But now that I've found numbers and how to tell the story of numbers, not to actually tell you the truth, but the truth of what the numbers in hypothetical situations say, by the virtue of truth of your own decision of whether or not you believe and comprehend that if I write down the word 3, THREE, that we can come together and say, yes, that's the T letter. Yes, that's the H letter. Yes, that's the R letter. Yes, that's the E letter. Yes, that's the other letter. That's 3, 28, 18, 5, and 5. Those are the positions that I was taught when I went to school. I want to know how many people out of all the people that are here, there's only 2, say that A is the first letter. Say that they're going to give A number 1, whether you talk in gematria, whether you talk in Hebrew, whether you talk in Chaldean, whether you talk in gematria, we're giving the 1. And even when they go to racing, they give the 1, the red, in both thoroughbreds and harness. But when it comes to pool, they've changed it for the yellow. Now, for me, because I have the sole of my foot, and the sole of my foot and the sole, for some reason, keeps reminding me of yellow. Now, get me wrong or not, but yellow becomes the soul. And spirit is the red. And soul becomes the dog. Yes, and red spirit becomes the cat. Now, I know I'm going to be twisting something here, and I'm not sure at what point or why it twists, but we have the yellow. And now we go to the bathroom and we take a pee. And that pee, okay, which is yellow, is noted to be for number 1. And the poo, okay, which is brown, is noted to be number 2. Now, we already know that it takes yellow and red to create brown. So really sitting down for a number 2, we always take a P. Therefore, we have to make it number 3, bringing both the yellow soul and the red spirit cat together to sit down on the throne. Sit on the throne. Now we're down to one person over here. And I can't come on to. I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to come back. Give me a minute. Just 1 second. I have somebody that buzzed me. Okay, let me just go get a drink. Somebody asked me to do him a favor. Sadly, it's not possible unless somebody could help me out and send me. Okay, this, and this. I made hot water a long time ago. I never drank it. Give me a minute. Yeah, okay. So where was I? You know, it's sad because if anybody just jumps in here and sees 2 words of mine, you can never really understand me, ever. You can't understand me. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about number 11. I wish I can go on my TikTok right now and let's see. I'm just going to, I don't know. They won't, I'm on pause right over here. And I don't know if I want to go on my, just let me just get out. They're not talking to me. I'm just going to go here myself. Just give me a minute. Just give me a second. Somebody sent me a message. I heard you talking about numbers, where they came from and what they represent, and words like Christ, crucified. I'm curious, would you mind sharing the knowledge you have above those topics? Okay, I don't know if this gentleman is still here. I'm going to take a look for him. So just give me a little, give me just a minute if you want to take a look at the floor or something and try and figure out what's going on. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can send this gentleman a link to watch this. Let me see if I could. Just give me a second. I'm going to send her here. Let me go to YouTube. I know I hate to say it, but I'm just saying I gotta stop myself. Just be kind and say it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go share, copy, and I'm going to look for this gentleman right over here. And okay, so I don't know if Emlo is here or he's not here. And I wanted to talk about 11, right? So let me go back in here. I just want to see if this, just give me a second. Let me see. Okay, I'm a little unhappy that I had to leave that channel. Okay, just give me a second. Just lost my place. Okay, so you want to see the number 11, but we're only one. And if it's Tammy, I know you've seen this 100 times. But for those who haven't seen it, who don't know anything about Rubik's Cube, this is only one piece of the puzzle. This is only one piece of the puzzle. I wish this guy would, yeah. Okay, I'm going to write to him. Okay, just give me a minute to write to this guy. Okay, just give me a minute to do this and I'm going to be with you. Maybe you want to watch me. Maybe you can watch me write. Okay, I wrote that, so let him see if he comes back. So we were going to talk about 11, 11, 11. Now, when you have number 11, where do I get it from? 1 and 6 equals to 7. It doesn't equal to 11, so I use my tools. Here is a dice cube. It has 6 sides. On every single side, you'll see a different denomination of dots. Before we begin, let me tell you that this is not the final outcome with this dice, because the final outcome with this dice is I have 1 and 6, which are opposite, which means, okay, that I don't have 1 and 5 or 1 and 4 or 1 and 3 or 1 and 2. So now when I do any of these changes, in the first one, I will get 2, 3, 4, 5. In the second one, I will get um, 2, 3, 4, 6. In the third one, I'll get 2, 3, 5, 6. In this one, I'll get 2, 4, 5, 6. And in the last one, I'll get 3, 4, 5, and 6. What does that mean? I'm going to show you the first one. You see the 1 and 6? If I have the 1 and 6, I have to see 2, 3, 4, 5 on the band of the dice, the band going around my finger. So we want to see 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 3, 2. It has nothing to do with that. If you have these 2, you don't have these 4. So we have to rechange this entire cube to look different. Second part of this, it's the many dimensions. This is only a skeleton. So I'm going to show you on the second level. On the second level, you don't have 2 and 3 together or 2 and 4 together. You do have 2 and 5 together. You don't have 2 and 6 together. Okay. So when you have this one, right? Let's go this way, equals to 5, equals to 6, equals to 7, equals to 8. When you do it this way, you have 1, 4, 5, 6. This one over here, you have 1, 3, 5, 6. This one over here, you have 1, 3, 4, right? And 6. You see the way I'm putting these dots here? Because the houses are now separated, right? See the way that 3 is living inside of there, and then the 1 lives on that side. You know, the 4, 5, 6 lives on the other side. And then you have this one over here. You got the dot over here, right? You're going to have 3, 4, and 5, right? And you got those 2 on the outside. So these are the other combinations. Here's the base. When this happens and you see 1 and 6, you automatically know 8 and 3 equals to 11. Now, where does that happen? We look at it over here. We have a total of 9. I'm going with 1 dot and 6 dots. So that means I'm using 2 sides. I'm using 9 for this side, you know, like you want to go side A and B. Well, it actually might be side C, right? 3 sides, the top side, the middle side, the bottom side, 3 sides, 3 opposite sides to the dice, because that's what they are. There's 3 opposite sides. And, you know, if this was cut like a triangle, right, we're not going to get into that. So we have the 7, right? Now we have 11 from 9 and 9, right? So that's going to equal to 18. So on one side, we're going to have this. The other side, we're going to have that. If we turn the dice to number 2, right, then we're going to have 2 and 5 equals to 7. Then we have 7 missing here. We have 4 missing here. And that equals to 11. Now the last one is 3 and 4. That's 1/3 and 2/3, right? 3 and 4, right? All 3 of them tells me my pyramid's this way, because I see all 3 sides are up, right? One side into 2 sides, one side into 2 sides. All the sides are up in this one right over here, okay? And each one into each other. And how many points do we have, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Is that what we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 points on this. 7 points of 8 points are showing. That's your gateway, your 78, your GH, or your PH, or your FG, 67. Earth and Mars is your gateway. So the last one's going to be 3 and 4 equals to 7. And what's going to be missing? Take away these 3 means I got 6 left. Take away the 4 corners or the 4 inside. says I have 5 left. And then this is going to equal to 11. We have 11, 11, 11. If I stand it on this corner, okay, like this, what am I going to have? I'm going to have 3 times whatever it is. I'm going to have 21 and 33 equals to the 54 area spaces on the cube. And ask this question, there's going to be 3 of these situations popping up. Over here is 9 and 9. And then over here is 9 and 9. And then over here is 9 and 9 equals to 18, equals to 18, equals to 18. And that 54 is either going to spell love, going to spell son, you're going to spell this word. This is a perfect word, inverts to itself. It's also 4 letters, 108 times 4 equals to 432. We created the mirror. It's not 110 like the towers times 4 equaling to 440. You see, this is, if you want to go 3 times 36 equals 108. And this is 3 times 36 equals 108 plus 2 in the house of bait, possibly working with the moons of Mars. This number 2, if it was 1, it'd be the Earth. It'd be 109, right? It would be 109, right? And we needed 108. We'd only have to add on 1. And this is going to be talking about the singular Earth moon. That's the way I want to look at it. It's also going to talk about, I like to say, the pole versus the ring. I like to use 2 or 4 sides as these 2 or these 4, but just referring to 1/3 and 2/3. The pole is 1/3, while the ring is 2/3, because it's 2 sides of the 3 opposite sides. That's its truth. So that's its truth. Wow, nobody's here. That's a little irritating, eh? Let me see. Let me just share this around. I'm going to go on to Rumble. Maybe somebody's trying to talk to me there and it's not coming out. I, Kamala Harris, and your Democrat. Okay, just give me a second. This, where am I? Okay, this, 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so now this is what's going to happen next. Okay, what we're going to do next is this becomes the IT system. Okay, now we're going to first do the math with this, right? And although this equals to 299, right? And that's 299. And then this one will also equal to 299. They're all, did I get that right? Sorry, 279. This one's 299. They're all 279. 972. 11 is your base creation. 1 times 1 equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 and 1, or the 21st letter U, the 12th letter L, or 03 letter of C. CLU, 3, 3, and 3. If you use it as the L, the 2 in the center, okay, would be LL. But it would be ALLA. But as blackjack dictates, and I use games to tell me stories, as blackjack dictates, you only can use 21 once. You can't get it twice, right? So the 11th letter is K, so it'd be A, K. It would be A, K, K. Value it as 11. Did I get that right? K is the 11th letter, right? Or 1. It would be 1 or 11. It'd be AK, like ace, king, right? They're both in the A family. So we have the total over here, the 33 voided areas and the 21 dots of the cube. So that when we have the pole side of the cube, 2 sides, right? That'll just be 11. The mathematics, why 11? Over here, you see 5 empty spaces, and over here you see 6. That's my 11. If I'm using 2 cubes, we don't want to talk about that yet. We're working with 1 cube. We have 11. At the same time, we have 7. When we invert this cube over, right, and we just count the sides of it, 6, 5, 1, and 2, okay, that's going to equal to 14, right? But when that equals to 14, right, there's 8 missing spaces there. There's 7 missing spaces there, 7 and 8, your gateway. There's 3 missing spaces here, and there's 5 missing spaces. Sorry, I did that wrong. There's 4 missing spaces over here. So let me see if I got that right. Let me see if I got that right. 8, 7, 3, 4. Okay, so let me see. 15 and 7 equals to 22. So I got that right. The pole side up and down is 11. The other side is 22. So 2 times 2, 4. 2 plus 2, 4, equaling to 8. 1 times 1, 1. 1 plus 1, 2. 2 and 1 equals to 3. It now becomes 38 or 83. Now, what do we do with that? What do we do with that? And why should we do it? Why should we do it? Is because I've done it before. I've done it from the beginning of, in the last 8 or 9 years, I always continue the same mathematical equation. Multiply and add, then multiply and subtract. When you get to a certain number that looks too high, reduce it to a single digit. If it reducing it or reduce it one level, meaning if you have 38, 3 and 8 is 11. So on the first ring, you are still above 10. Reduce it again, and then on the second ring, you will go from 10, you will go over to 1. I'm going to show you why. In numbers, whatever number you write down, right, the highest number you will get, okay, is going to be 18. This one is going to revert down to 9. We only went down one level. If we go down, if we have the number 87 equals to 15, we went down one level of 9. Sorry, we reduced it one level to 15. 8 and 7 is 15, one reduction level. Now we're going to reduce this 15 over to the value of 6. I shouldn't have wrote it out that way, right? 8 and 7 is 15. First reduction. Second reduction goes here. House of bait. First ring and second ring, 9 and 18. There's no more than that. 3 times 6, 3 plus 6 equals 18, equals to 9. It is the house of bait, number 27, B-E-T. This is the E world. This is the female. To a child, the children that we are, it looks like number 13. If I'm spelling it in the air, I like to use it that way. AC. They call it the house of bait. B. Okay. B-E-T. I also like to use the letters, these letters. The 7th letter and the 2nd letter. You can call it a gigabyte. You can call it the gates, the 7th gate. So we reduce it once or twice to 99. We do know 99 makes everything smart in 86. If you watch the film, the program Maxwell Smart, it tells you about 86. And we already know that 86, they are the reverse of what it is. And this is 86. Here's the 6, and here's the 8. Controlling the suits. Controlling the suits. Is it the blue collar worker? Who are they controlling? Right? 19 is the moon. 91 is the spirit. Why are they controlling? Why is it quarters? Because it's Q. Because it's Z. Quarters. Let me Q, Z, H, or Q. Oh, H, Q, Z. Headquarters. Which is 8, 17, and 26, equaling to 51. And this is the numeric for Mars, controlling 432. Now I'm going to just tear this out. I want to rewrite this. I keep doing the same thing. I'm not very happy with that. Not very happy with that. Just let me just show you. Just to note that planet and house are both 68. I'm gonna mark headquarters. See the way E and D are inside D and H? These are the bookends. First and last, they're both gold. These are second. If it was a 5-letter word, we'd have a third. And right, if we had, I'm just going to use some stupid word. This one is going to be shared as A, B, C, B, A. So now we're going to talk about this word here. Anyways, let's get on to this. When we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the invert of that is 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. We live inside this dimension over here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 8, 7, 6. Now we create the perfection the same way it was showed to us here. We go 4 and 6 equals to 10, 3 and 7 equals to 10, 4 and 8 equals to 10. We also have what is 8 and, did I get that? Sorry, 8 and 2 equals to 10. What's missing? Yes, what's missing is what's on the outside equaling to 10. Our bookends, 5 and 5 equal to 10, and 1 and 9. 5 and 5 is our liberty to both sides. So what happens if you want to back this up with something? I'm just going to mark this up, right? There was one more 10 in there, right? So when we want to do this, we're also going to mark 24, 21, 16, and 16 equals to 35, equals to 31, equals to 36. I like to look at this as being the heart of the cube. I also like to look at this as the operator, or the O letter, the 15th letter. Reverse is the L letter, the 12th letter, 3 and 6. And that's what creates your 360 degrees. I also look at it as this word. And the reason operators, because operator, you have to write the 0 down, and that's number 64. I also like to call it blue because it creates the equaling to 34, and 34 is cold. And cold is usually noted with blue, right? Depending how cold it is. Just like water might be associated with mist or clouds or ice. So we have to use more than just one dimension for our understanding. Just like the yellow, okay, is the 1 and 9, okay? 19 times 3 equals to 57 birth. 19 times 3 equals to 57 moon. 91 is the word spirit. 13 will create both 1 and 9 by the virtue of its math, equals to 1 times 3 equals to 3, 1 plus 3 equals to 4 times 3 equals to 12, 4 plus 3 equals to 7, and 12 equals to 19. We have it as A and I. We have it as A and I is because of this thing over here. When we connect the A, right, or the number 1 or the number 10, we have, no, we're not going to do the 10 run right now. We're going to create the 9 with this one. So what it is, because we need the 1 and the 9, right? So we connect the 1 and 8, 9, 2 and 7, 9, 4 and 5, 9, 3 and 6, 9. We did everything, but the only thing that happened is all the 9 was counted. 9. And we didn't touch the 9. In the second scenario, right, I don't want to use this one. I want to use it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to go 3 and 8. 3 and 8, 9, 3 and 8, 11, right? This one is going to create 9, 9, 9, 27. And this is going to go 3 and 8, 11, 2 and 9, 11, 5 and 6, 11. And here, 4 and 7 equals 11, 5 and 6 equals 11, and 3 and 8 equals to 11. And here, I didn't use my 1. So what we had, result was 9, and 9 goes here. Result 11, 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1. Everything goes into that box right over there. 38, what happens? Like we did before, 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 equals to 2 and 1 equals to 3. 11 and 11 is 22, right? This is 11 equals to 3, and 22 equals to 8. 2 times 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4, 8. Even money. This one creates separation by 1. This one will create a 50% separation in its number. I want to see if I got anything else. So we were talking about headquarters in 86, right? And what it is HQZ as being 8 and 17 and 26 equaling to 51. Ironic that it would be the bookends that hold in what is 4, 3, 2. And if you look at this, now we're going to have to go. I always got to back myself up, right? So we go over here. I don't need the ace. I don't need the ace. I'm keeping the 2, right? I don't need the ace. I'm keeping the 2. I'm not keeping the 3, right? I'm not keeping the 3. And why don't I keep the 3? In fact, not only do I not keep the 3, right? I don't even have to keep the 6 or the 5, because the 5, right? The 5, like, what are we doing? Let me see if I can do this. Let me see this. So I don't need the 9, and I don't need the ace because the ace is over here. So I don't need all of these. But I got the 7 and I got the 8, but I don't need the 7 unless we're going to talk about, look, we're going to show you how I'm going to show you this 8 is actually 2 7s. When I turn this 7 on top of each other, I end up with this. 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7. Or how about looking at 1 moon for Earth and 2 moons for Mars, bringing them all together in our birth. We don't need the 7. We don't need the 6, because if you see 6 and 7 are within the 8. 8 representing the queen. She has 8 eyes. 7 representing the king. So you can see how 6, 7, and 8 are coming to 1. So you will know 2, 3, and 4 are coming to 1. And where is the 4? The 4 is apparent in almost every single card, right? The 4 is apparent in almost every single card. The 4 is apparent in the 4 card and in the 5 card. 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not going to count the 10 right now. 4 is apparent in all of these. It's all the 4 corners. That's the truth. That's what you see. That's what we're working with. But man made this stuff, and man made that stuff, and man made colors, and man and man and man, and God made man. And God put the trees and the animals and the plants, and everything we know is because of God's creation. And every combination that we've ever put together was the good Lord upgrading moment by moment. For every time a child thought, the Lord had a direct communication and added that in. If it was good, it was added into the system. And the Lord learned and wrote everything down as it taught itself through the children of its own creation, bringing back its own memory, the fingertips of the Lord of 20, 20, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. Number 38, Rubik's Cube, is right here. This finger is number 3 and 13. This finger is number 8 and 18. 3, 13 is 16, and 8 is 24, and 18 is 42. That's your gateway. 2 and 4 sit outside of what is number 3. I call it this, counting my 10 toes and my 5 fingers to my 3rd finger. I'm counting this as my 5 fingers to my 3rd finger is 8. As I use 2 feet for 10, 11, 12, 13. The 12 would be on each side of the male. If this was 13, then this would be 12 on each side of the male. 12, 13, 12. 3, 4, 3. 7 times 7 times 7 equals 343. 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals 21, plus 343 equals to 364, which is 4 times 91 equaling to 364, or 13 by 28 equaling to 364. 13 cards in a suit. We have 13 moons of 28 days of 364 days. We have 13 cards in a suit. When you add 1 to 13, it equals to a total of 91. 91 equals to the word spirit or AI coming together. The two systems, 9/11 coming together. The canine, the birth into the mirrored house. The mirrored house, the mirror of 1 and 1. The payout in blackjack, 1.5. The difference between the two houses is 1.5. The creation of 1 and 1 creates a 1/3 and 2/3 separation, because when you go 1 times 1, when you look at 1/2, if you want to look at the 1/2, 1 and 2, this one is twice this, or it's 1/3 and it's 2/3 from the total of what is 3/3. That 3/3 is our base creation. 69 is our base creation, encompassed by 78. 3 by 3 equals to 6. 3 plus 3 equals to, well, it's the inverted to this, right? So you can see what happens. But what happens is the French at number 70, they don't say this in French. They're going to say 60 and 10. And in 80, they just completely wipe this out, because once you get to 80, you've mirrored everything and go 4 by 20. And once you get to 90, you're now going to go 20, okay, by 4. And then you're going to add 10 to the equation in order to get all this. At the same time, when you count the 77, 78, 79, it's not like counting 97, 98, 99, and the base of the creation of what is 10. Well, I should have used 70 and 90 in the same factor, to where you're going to go 10, 17, 18, and 19. This number is mentioned not only in this area here, but it's then mentioned here, and then it's mentioned over here, but it's not mentioned here. Here, you're counting A through I. But when you count over here, you don't count it the same way. Only 7 times 9, 8 times 9, and 9 times 9. They're all mentioned in their full form, unlike adding teen, right, onto 6, okay, or teen, right, onto 4. But they're still saying this number. So more or less, and this is going to tell you about a gateway. This one's going to tell you about a gateway. 4 times 4, 4 plus 4. This one will have a gateway, but it will not be the same as this one. It's going to be different. It's said differently. French and English separate the way we say things, therefore separating the numbers because of the two languages, helping me and showing me that with 12 or 11 and 10, right, is not the same as 13, 14, 15, and 16. And why I stop there is because 17, 18, and 19, right, are set in their full form when we get to this number and this number in French. They say 17, 18, 19, 77, 77, 77, 78, 79. The birth in the gateway, the heavens of the gateway, the power of the gateway, power in Christ, 77. This will create 5, this will create 6, this will create 7. We come in through the gate through the 9 birth, okay? We come in through the 9 birth to live in the 6th life right over here, between the two gates, between the gateway and the heavens. 6, 7, and 8, right? Where was that 6, 7, and 8? Was it on the last page? Yeah, right over here. It's not the same. See the outside 10, 10? We live inside here. This is where the vibration is. Also to note that the year 2000, okay, is a reset according to 1440. What does this mean? What does this mean? 1440, 1440, 1440 equals your 432, our harmonization in between area. After that, when you add on one other 1440, this is going to be 5760, and the Hebrew year for this is the year 2000. Now, what is this going to ignite? 2600 moons, right? I'd like to move 8 moons off of this. I like to have it 2592 so we can match up with the Mayan calendar because they do match up, right? See the 440 hertz we run in? Everything gets done like that. So it seems like they're running us in one dimension if they're running with 440. Otherwise, should be running like this, 432, and not like this. See the zeros at this end? So what this is it's 4 times 1440. There's 1440 minutes in a day. And when you do this over here, $74,880. If I do, this is going to give me 75,075. And what was the other one? 74,880. The difference in between here and here. When we reach this plateau, it was in 2015. This is the year 5775, where the moons and the numbers all line up at 12s and 3. 3, 3, 3, 3, 12, 12, 12 is 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3. This will also say electric moon. This one is coming off of saying Jesus. It'll say angels. It'll be into the mirror world, and we're at the window. This is also 7 and 8 representing a gateway. 1 times 7, 1 plus 7. You're 1/3 and 2/3 in the gateway. We've met up with the thirds. We've met up with the what I believe to be the original number. We need 3. Everything's in threes. Everything's in 3. The other side is all going to be the mirror, the replica. 3 makes everything perfect. 1, 4, 7 equals to 3, 3, 3 as 21, 12, and 3 equaling to 36 as 2, 5, and 8 equals to 6, 6, 6 or 6, 15, and 24, to where 3, 6, and 9 equals to 9, 9, 9, or it doesn't even come into the alphabet, but it's 27, 54, 81 in this house of bait, into the love of the sun, to the spirit of the heaven, Venus. This is what shows up over here. 135. This number over here is 135. I think 5184 is the Giza pyramid. 24 is the division of the gate through the moon. I like to look at what this one is. I can't make out what 1278 is, but I can make out what the other ones are. So we end up with 3, 6, and 9, 7 months, 4 months, and 1 month of 31, 30, and 28 days. This will say Fox. It'll read the reverse of what is 888, which is symbolic on these dice cubes, right? 6 and 2, 8, 5 and 3, 8, 4 and 4, 8 to what is 1 and 5, 6 to what is 2 and 4, 6 to what is 3 and 3, 6. We live in the IT system gateway of the sun, in rotation of the sun. What is this? 4, 4, 4 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 1, 1, 1 is 3. This is when it's reduced. The same time, if you want to create 6 and 9, here's a 9, right, over to here. And here, I'm going to create a 6. And whoop, did I do that right? No, I didn't do that right. It had to be to here. Sorry about that. I think they call that a lorange, right? There's another way of drawing this out. Here is the 9. Here is the 6. It shows the percentage where the 8 comes in. At the same time, we only needed 6 lines. We only need the hexagon to create this, the percentage sign. By now locking in these two, you create the octagon. This is the 6 and this is the 8. And this is what breaks and brings together the dividing gate. And after that, you can do this if you want. We have this, like that Swazi thing over there. And you can do that, right? And it goes on that when you're done, you've created the towers and the tower in between, all connected with the ribs of Lumet, Pasco 200. I think we can do it that way. Anyways, I'm a little bit tired. If you got any questions, if you want me to start over, there's a lot of new people that just showed up. And I'm usually never in order anyway, so just ask away. Ask me what you would like to know. We all know that it's not easy after 21 years of doing this, right? If you want to come in and check me out, take part, because only we, if we just stop robbing each other. What is it with rob? Why is it we're always robbing each other? Why are we always robbing each other? And they even put it out there that the spirit or pirate says one eye, thinking of the king of diamonds. I'm just telling you just how I see things. And then it goes to spirit. And somehow through the spirit or the vibration, changing our trend or way our thoughts. But before I end this video, I want to go back to just a few relationships with yellow. Is can we say it's soul? You know, can the soul be connected to the dog? Dog is number 26. Soul is number 67. Yellow is number 92. And I'm also going to connect it to 1, which is 34. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to 9, right? So the yellow soul is connected to 2 systems. 9 is going to be 42. 9 is going to be 42. I'm going to get the cat involved here at 24. I'm going to get the spirit involved here at 91. And we're going to put yellow over here, 92. But here we're going to get the yellow, but we're going to run it with a stripe. And here we're going to run it with a solid. This might be judgment. Because in this world, we were brought up as the children to understand certain things with stripes are under judgments. So are we talking about pin, tail? I don't know. So what happened from that? We got all this, and at the same time, we got the P. So the male stands, and when you stand on 17. The female will sit, but when you want to do the poo, right, you sit. The P is noted to be number 1. The poo is noted to be number 2, but usually once you're sitting, you can do both 1 and 2 together, right? And you're going to do the number 3, bringing the colors of what is brown, 72, and yellow, 92. Noted that in brown, you need a mix of red and yellow to create that color. So you're going to end up with 1 and 3 coming into that. And that 3 ball is now the red ball. And it's connected, okay, to the 11 ball. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1, 2 and 1 equals to 3. The 21st letter is U. If you add them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you get F. The 11th letter is K. Check out the words you get from this one, from the red. So we're just going to leave that out. This will total 14. The red, the yellow totals 10. Put that together. It's Mars, 5 and 1. When 5 and 1 comes together, it's a reflection of Mars and reflection of blue. And this is going to be separation of the 7th gate. 6 and 8, again, back to the understanding of what these cubes do. When you have 6 and 2, you have 5 and 1. When you have 3 and 3, you have 4 and 4. When you have 2 and 6, you have 5 and 3. Not 2 and 6,
When you have 3 and 5, you have 2 and 4. That's the reality. It shows up here. We understood it took 8 shapes before they gave me a whole number. I know on the ruler, it gives me 1/16, right? 1/16 and 1/8, 8 below 9, telling me about the lower system, right? If the 3 base is your creation and you get the 9 birth, when you come into the birth, you end up with 12. When you come and only have the heaven, you only have 11. But when you come into the mirror birth, it's 4 and 9 equaling to 13. When you come into the E world, it's 5 and 9 equaling to 14. And this is where the alphabet divides. This is where the female takes over and the male moves over here. The IT system in the sun. The female ends up with the moon. The male ends up with the sun. The female is 7. The male is 9. If you take a look on the ATM, there is only 3 letters on the 7 and 3 letters on the 9. The letters that are missing have been moved over to the 1. Those letters are Q, and the Q is 17. Stand on 17. The other one is the Z, 26. 2 and 6 is 8. 26 and 17 is 43, representing hot. It'll also represent the letters DC, or Earth and Mars, the division of Earth and Mars at 3.5. At 3.5 in this cube, the center of 7, 3.5 times 3 equals 1.05, or right? Or also noted to be the hand of God. 105 is 35 and 70 if you want to look at it that way, or use it as interstate. Near what is Kansas City in Texas. And that's where we have what is to be understood as Kansas, Dorothy, the yellow brick road, and in Chaldean, that is power, Christ, 77, also where the male student comes in. The mathematics of 77 equals to 49, and to number 14 equals to 63, equals to the pen is. Also at the same time, it will equal to number 4 and 9, 13, and 14 equals to 4 and 5, bringing both the female and the male together in the sun. And this word will spell out this. So it brings these 2 words together inside this 77, all on its own. 7 times 7, 7 plus 7. I didn't do it. The numbers did it. I talk with the numbers, and the numbers are produced right here. And moon, not only that, is going to be number 57. Okay. The opposite of Mars is going to be the numeric value for moon, right? And that's going to be 51. In order to create moon, you need to use the number 9. 3 by 19 equals to 57. In order to make Mars, you need to use 17, or 3 by 17 equals to 51. So why is our vibration 432? Because the total of our base creation is 108. To cap the creation, okay, they add on another 36, equaling to what is the 1440 in a day. Times 3, or times 3 equals to 432, and here equals to 324. 18 by 18 is 324. Doesn't matter which way you go, it's just telling you a different location. In creation and in the mirror, they reflect each other. Now, do you want to see something a little cuckoo? 5 times 7 is 35. 5 plus 7 is 12. If you add them, it's 47, and it becomes the beast. If you turn it around, you get Jesus. Energy, 74, 74, which equals to 28, and 11 equals to 39, or 28 minus 11 equals to 17. Then if you have matter at 77 and power at 77, ER, 18 and 5, 23 and 23 is 46. The 15th and 16th letter is 31, equals to 77. I don't know why I wrote that. And now if you do Christ, which also can be looked at 15 and 1, or first, CH and R to bring on the chariot, you also get 77, and the quarter houses of Mars are inside of this word. 3 and 8 come together. 11 and 22 is the equation of this. It's your 33 creation off of this dice cube. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1, 2 times 2, 2 plus 2 equals to 3 and 8. At the same time, this one will be 49 and 14 equals to what is 63. If we want to go to the low side of the 14 of this equation, it'll equal to 35, electric company. This caps off 57. If you want to go to Christmas, we have 33. It caps everything off. 7 and 3, 10, 7 and 3, 10. We have your 11 or your 110. It caps it off because you bring the one center around the 10, creating all 10s. 3 and 7 will create that. So 5775 electric company, okay, is 5775 will be 3553, capping of that electric company, and that's the center of this cube. Let me see what I was missing inside of this. Yes, when you have beast, which is 47, you have 9 times 47 equals to 423. If you get 74 of Jesus times 9, it equals to 666. If I minus this, I get to 243. And again, you can see the earth vibration within it. To know that at some times in your life, you are the beast. You have destroyed the great cooking your wife has made. You have pulled out from the soil the carrots and the lettuce. You have planted the seed and you have ripped the roots out of the ground to devour them in your body for your survival. But at the same time, the earth has a regeneration time that with a calculation in these cubes, we are working at a minimum of 2.2 times the difference of time, possibly enough time to regenerate most of our organs if we actually had the proper amount of time that our body runs by, and not that it's filtered through the God, whatever it is that's in the system that keeps us alive. Because if we took your breath away, as they gave you your breath in life, if God took the breath away, we all wouldn't be here. So therefore, inside here, which goes inside here, because we breathe it, is our life. And there's always an adjustment because you can't see it. Our unity is living together. We are the extension. We are the extension. Who are our children? If we teach them to do wrong, if someone teach them to do wrong, once you go off the path with destruction, there's a possibility you make the wrong choice. You can make a greedy choice, but that greedy choice is not unknown until you get something what they call the adrenaline rush. The addiction sets in. We become addicted. We start to forget because we're living with what feels good. Just give me a second. I have to take this. Hi. Hi. How you doing? I'm doing a video. Now I'm just going to... Yeah, well, I'm going to look for money and see if I have enough to get enough money next week, so I don't know if I have enough to buy it. I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it. Well, no, if I... Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to see what time it is. Okay, I'm going to come back in an hour or so. Oh, okay, I'll be there in an hour or less. I have to jump in the shop at 5. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm back. I don't have much time. I'm just going to put this up here if someone can like to help out the channel, that we can continue this and broaden this, that we can spread what you might believe might be the last one of the later straws that came in to truth of what the numbers say, what the math says in the numbers. So I'm not even sure where to go with this, but when we come to these numbers of also a 432, and we look back at this and we notice we're running on the 741 system, where 1 can go into everything, where 4 and 4 becomes 8, where 4 and 4 becomes 12, equaling to 3, where 7 become 21, or 7 and 7 is 14 equal to 5, or 7 21 equal to 3. So we can see the way everything fits. We can see that 5, 2, and 8 fit over here, and 3 times 5 is 15. It fits over here. But 3, 6, and 9, okay, never go anywhere but to become 3, 6, and 9, and only can be associated with these numbers. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 3 is 9. See, the first two series of 3 only brings us back here, but in the third, we spread out and do all these connections. 6 times 1, 6 times 2 brings us out of the house because we've created full. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24, unlike 8 times 3 is 24. And how these numbers assemble with these numbers, these is our guideline. And we finish this when we reach the level of 12 numbers, like above is below. And we flip these numbers to the other side, and we have our first 18 numbers, 2 sections of the board. And it's also described over here in these designs. You are the truth. Your first step, your next step, and your last step is you who took that step. Now, if you're in a position in life because of what happened or transpired during the period of time between then and now, how can you change and not distort the situation? It's not as easy as it is, but in words it is. And if we learned right or righteous, to understand what righteous is, that we are the first, the in-between, and the last step. Even if somebody or others alter what we try to do, we still have the decision to go ahead and create those blueprints to advance into the life or the area we choose. Why have we turned different? Many reasons, but Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Peace and love. Okay, I'm going to be back. If you can help out the channel, that would be great. High Q, another brick on the wall. Understanding that what is 10, what can be fabricated from 10 or 20, what is the difference? What is the Star of David? What is the ram? Why did the zodiac sign start in the 3rd, 4th, and 9th, 10th of the months? There's all kinds of questions, right? Remember, 9th and 10th of the month. We also run in a 48-month cycle, 36, then 12. We also run in a 39 moon cycle, 39 moons before we start the cycle over. That would be the 7th inning stretch. We work in 120 degrees of the cube. That would be hockey on ice. If you wanted to talk about CFL, we would be talking about the Earth 33 equaling to 9. If we wanted to talk about the NFL, we would be talking about 4 times 9 equals to 36. 4 parts of the quarter houses other than 1/3 and 2/3. If we're talking about 4, we might be talking about the ring to the 4 sides we go around. If you want to talk about the word love, it duplicates itself. It says itself twice. There are 2 3s in the cube. There are 2 4s in the cube. There are 2 5s in the cube, and there are 2 6s in the cube. There's only 1 1 and 1 2 and 1 7 and 1 8. 1 2 7 8. Okay, equals to 18. But there's 3 and 3, there's 4 and 4, there's 5 and 5, and there's 6 and 6, equaling to 14, equaling to 12, and equaling to 36. Okay, love in basic from this cube equals to 36. Not all words get to equal that. Love is perfect. Love also has a numeric value of 54, which cannot be inverted because it inverts into itself. Thank you for watching this video. Peace and love. Share, download the videos. If you can help out the channel, that'd be mighty and great. How you can change it without, let's talk about that another time. I don't have all the answers. I definitely don't. I have to save myself as well. Thank you for watching this video.